and you don't have.
Right,
you
they
don't
live-
have-
Maybe it's a
They left the
1,500 square
chimney.
foot house and they're building the second floor.
And the front door sometimes.
And the front door.
I mean, there are a lot of ways where it's 3,000, to add 3,000 square feet to a house is a lot of square footage to add to a house. I mean, that's my whole
I mean,
house.
Russ, can you define it whereby you talk about, you know, a new HVAC system, a new plumbing system, a new electrical system, something like that, where you can look at the systems within the home? I would assume that if someone was basically doing a complete regut and remodel, they would be changing all those systems.
Yes. Upgrading electrical, upgrading
Right.
plumbing, upgrading
So,
HVAC.
you know,
Maybe
if
it
you
would
define
be-
it in that fashion,
Maybe it would be the amount of area that is not occupiable without inspections again as a result of the work, so that if you're, that's essentially what gutting is, you're rendering area no longer habitable until the renovation is complete, in which case you need inspections to get a certificate of occupancy for the renovated area. Isn't that?
That's tough.
Well, but isn't that is what happens, if someone, I mean, in fact, Libertyville had one of its, I know it seemed to have like 4 or 5 triggers, but one of them was that when a significant area of the house is not habitable while the renovation is going on, that's the area that has to be sprinklered, because you've moved out of it, no one is able to occupy it, it's not habitable. At the end of the work, it's now fully habitable space. That ought to be the space that's counted in terms of triggering the requirement.
Well, that's fine in and of itself unless you're putting on an addition, in which case that doesn't work.
That was one of the triggers. The other
Okay.
trigger would be just enlarging the space. You could have,
Now we're
two
adding
triggers.
triggers.
You're gonna, well, that's,
If you start adding triggers, you're just gonna make this thing so cumbersome.
well, I'm just hearing 2 of them. One would be enlarging by area by some factor.
I think by area and upgrading the mechanical systems. They go with area and the upgrading, because if you're gonna add an area, you're gonna have to upgrade heating, you're gonna have to upgrade electrical and upgrade plumbing, because you can't add 75% on a house and use the same furnace, I'll guarantee you, because the HVAC system isn't gonna work, so they're gonna have to upgrade that. They're gonna have to upgrade electrical, because the electrical system's gonna be overdrawn. So right now, I can say if they're doing 2 out of the 3 mechanical systems are gonna be upgraded along with a substantial square footage of flooring, that would trigger it to become sprinkler.
Maybe Russ and I should try and craft something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's getting awfully confusing. As soon as every ordinance we deal with, somehow we start with something that's pretty cut and dried, and then we try to make it better, and the more we try to make it better, it gets more confusing.
Okay,
So let's get it to where we can
Postpone
understand
discussion.
everybody's supposed to post discussion.
Does everybody like 75 square feet though? I mean,
75%, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Is that okay?
That would be the, I'm sorry, just to make sure that I'm clear.
75% of the existing
existing home addition, right? So you would have to add a second floor
or remodel.
Or renovation if you
Well,
got
we
it.
haven't got it defined yet, we're gonna define that.
Yeah.
Basically, the concept is if you're gonna,
That's the concept.
And what do you mean by remodel? Changing kitchen cabinet? that-
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When remodel is when you strip it back to the wall studs
Oh, okay.
and you're
Okay.
redoing
Got it.
everything.
like a gut.
A gut job.
Because sometimes you mention these systems, I think that would be really confusing, because again, sometimes, you know, you work with an electrician and then they tell you, oh, this house was built in the 50s, you had a 100 electrical, you need 200, so you would change it, but that doesn't mean,
No, we're not.
you
No,
know,
we're not talking
you
about that. We're not talking about that at all.
No, that's not.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I had a brief conversation with Rob about some of the background of this, and one of the things that we talked about is that there's several avenues to safety, not just one. And one of them that we might be missing is that we have a fire department that could make inspections. They can't invite themselves into homes, but for residents that are receptive, they could go in and inspect the detectors, they could inspect the furnace area, the areas that principally lead to fires. And I suggested to Rob that perhaps periodically he advertise in the Village Voice or some other means that the fire department is very willing and eager to do this as a service to residents.
Scares the heck out of a lot of people, they just don't want anybody in there to look at their stuff.
Well, and just to clarify, we're not experts when it comes to furnaces or electric. We would look at the distance of storage, are
Right.
things being done in a way, it's called a housekeeping inspection.
Right.
wouldn't be able to certify that those things were safe.
You have the manpower for that?
A what?
You have the manpower for that?
Well, what we would do is use people that were available, and they would have to be available to leave if there were an emergency where they were required. And they would come back, of course, after it was over.
Since we didn't have a motion, we could just go on to the next one.
Motion, we take it up until,
We're just gonna go on. We don't have to have a motion.
well,
We did have to take it off.
We had a motion to postpone it to this meeting at the last meeting.
we should have had a motion to open it.
We did.
I know you didn't. Are you going to continue the unopened motion?
Yes, we'll continue to the next meeting.
Take it to the next meeting beyond that, because you're not gonna have a full staff here.
That's right.
You're not gonna have a full board at the next meeting.
We're not gonna have a full
No.
board?
No,
Who's not gonna be here?
me.
Mr. President, I move we table the discussion of the sprinkler ordinance.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second reading and adoption of an ordinance amending the village code to prescribe the regulations concerning fences. That has also been postponed or tabled. The task force is meeting on the 25th. I would recommend we just continue this on until we get some results from them. Okay, so I don't have to do anything there. Consideration of professional services from Williams Architects Pay Station. Bruce, you were concerned about, Mr. Haber brought up, did we do our due diligence? We did.
I got a memo convincing, I'm okay.
I'm glad you're okay.
Was that copied to all trustees?
It was in my bag in front of you.
Should be in front of you.
I said, I missed, I'll give you another.
In front of
Almost everyone.
Really?
Go to the
I mean,
side?
where is it?
I don't think I know that.
Sure.
Looks like this.
Oh, did you put it on late this afternoon?
Yeah.
Aha!
Early this
I
evening.
mean, I put it on.
Ha,
Do you have it?
After you.
It was after 4 o'clock. So, I'll read it now.
But for the record, you got it the same time as everybody else.
That is true. That is true.
Actually,
No,
about a
at
minute or
least-
two later, I think.
At least I'm not feeling, I wasn't feeling left out until just now.
So I was gonna talk about it and discuss it, but if everybody's okay with it,
After we
You're done.